Hello. Pokemon Red and Blue were released in 1996 as the first installments in the Pokemon video game series. They were the first games for many Pokemon fanatics and to this day remain a popular choice for casual play and competitive challenges. Despite its success, it is also one of the buggiest games in the series. Many of you will be familiar with Missing No and the things this entity can do to your game. Other glitches have beneficial effects that aid gameplay. Some glitches can cause corrupt save files and erase progress, and then there's glitches that don't affect gameplay at all. Nevertheless, challenges and gameplay for this game continue to be posted on YouTube. Challenges with restrictions such as Nuzlocke challenges, Catch 'em all challenges, speedruns, trade Pokemon runs, no healing runs and item restrictions continue to be posted, and many YouTube channels are dedicated to completion of such runs. One particular challenge that stays true to the original game motto of Gotta Catch 'em all is the Professor Oak Challenge. In short, the Professor Oak Challenge is a playthrough that challenges the player to catch and evolve all possible Pokemon before each gym badge. There is a whole subreddit dedicated to this challenge, and there are good examples on YouTube on how to complete this challenge from popular content creators like Johnstone, Chaotic Meatball, and Ma Dry Bread. There are a few problems with this challenge, however. In a single playthrough of Pokemon Blue, the maximum amount of Pokemon you can obtain in normal gameplay is 121, rather than the 151 in the Pokedex. This is because of version exclusives to both Pokemon Red and Blue, and choice Pokemon where you are forced to choose which one you want for your playthrough, such as your starter, which fossil you want to take, which EV evolution you choose to evolve into, and so on. There are also 5 trade Pokemon that you can't obtain without having access to another game, console and link cable. Mew is also straight up unobtainable currently. This makes the Catch 'em all experience difficult to complete. The solution to this problem is built into the game already, however. With the power of beneficial glitches and some planning, it is possible to complete the Pokédex. It is also possible to complete the Pokédex without obtaining a single gym badge. This is how. For this challenge, the rules are very simple. I must register all 151 Pokemon in the Pokédex in a single run of Pokemon Blue. I chose Blue over Red because of the color, but this could also be done on Red or Yellow without any issue. I'll be playing Pokemon Blue on an emulator which will help speed things up, but everything I do in this playthrough can also be done on a cartridge game without any modifications or cheats. Staying true to the Professor Oak Challenge, I need to catch as many Pokemon as I can prior to obtaining a single gym badge. In this challenge, this means no gym badges, which also means no HMs and therefore a restriction on areas that can usually be accessed with moves such as Cut or Surf. Next, no trading with other games is allowed, to preserve the core Professor Oak Challenge experience. Lastly, no game-breaking glitches that could potentially delete your save file. Let's get going.
Start the game as you normally would after watching the Jigglypuff destroy the Jengar. Get through Professor Oak's dialogue and name your characters. We'll call ourselves Scrub and our rival YouTube for the purposes of this video. Load into your room and grab the item in your PC. Head into the grassy area to the north of Pallet Town to be stopped by Professor Oak and dragged into his lab. Isn't it weird he's luring you into his home with the promises of protection? Anyway, collect your starter. It doesn't matter which one you pick as we can catch the ones you don't pick later on. I picked Charmander as this makes the rival battles a little bit easier. Unfortunately, this first battle drags on for a bit because of the type disadvantage and the fact that in Generation 1, moves that have 100% accuracy can somehow miss. I also got lucky here where the AI didn't go for the knockout and instead chose to wag its tail like an idiot. Anyway, beat your rival to get prize money, which will be important later on as buying Pokeballs is a major barrier to progression. Exit the lab and make your way through Route 1. Remember to collect the free potion from the store employee that has somehow wandered off during prime business hours to slack off. At least he's still advertising and pushing the brand, I guess. Head to the Pokemart in Viridian City. Collect Oak's parcel and take Route 1 all the way back to Pallet Town again. If you're unlucky like me, you'll run into several wild encounters before you can start catching things. Sad. Feel free to use this time to grind some experience though. Once you finally reach Pallet Town, enter Professor Oak's lab and give him the parcel from the Pokemart. He'll mumble some dialogue and end up giving you a Pokédex and ask you to do his job for him. Now that you have a Pokédex, the challenge can begin. On your way out from the lab, stop by your rival's house to get the town map from Daisy. Head to the Pokemart in Viridian City to buy some Pokeballs. Then head to Viridian Forest. Grab the hidden antidote in the tree. Run around in the grass until you find a Pikachu. It's easier to catch one now than it is later on. Grabbing a Pikachu will help with rival battles as the Squirtle and Pidgey line are weak to electric-type attacks. I also took the time to catch a level 2 Rattata with a special stat of 6. This isn't mandatory, but it'll help cut down a significant amount of time later on. Since the catch rates are higher on the earlier routes, it's easier to pick up the other available Pokemon here too. I caught a Pidgey on Route 1. You can also head over to Route 22 and pick up a Nidoran female, a Nidoran male and a Spearow. These can all be caught later at a higher level, but are easier to catch here. You can also catch each of the evolutions later on, so the level you catch them at won't really matter. Don't forget to grab this hidden potion on this cut tree. Go back to Route 22 and beat your rival YouTube. If you manage to train your Pikachu a few levels, this battle shouldn't be an issue at all. Head back into Viridian Forest. In Pokemon Blue, Caterpie is more common than Weedle, but both are available. They can be caught later on at a higher level, but once again it is easier to pick them up here. Now make your way through the rest of Viridian Forest. Make sure you defeat all the trainers here for the money. You'll need it to afford Pokeballs early in the game. You can grab the potion and the Pokeball items on the ground as well for bonus loot. Take some time to level your team as well. It is much easier to just evolve Weedle, Caterpie and Charmander at this point in the game than to catch their respective evolutions later on. With that all in mind, I evolved Caterpie initially into Metapod, and then after a little more grinding into Butterfree. Next was Weedle, which evolved into Kakuna. Kakuna then evolved into Beedrill. I also took the time to evolve Charmander into Charmeleon now, since I'll be using it to clear through a few trainer battles coming up. Head into Pewter City. There isn't much to do here besides stocking up on Pokeballs. You can go into Brock's gym to defeat the only gym trainer there for extra money, but there is no need to interact with Brock at all. Take a look around and say goodbye to Pewter City. You won't be coming back here for the rest of the game. Now for the first glitch to progress the game, the Skip Brock glitch. This glitch lets you skip the first gym battle by bypassing the annoying trainer that prevents you from wandering east of the city into Route 3. To perform this glitch, position yourself one step to the right of the trainer. Save your game and make sure the cursor is hovering over the save button. Walk one step to the right. The automated dialogue with the trainer will start. After he says follow me, hit the start button. If you time it correctly, the start screen should load up. It took me a few goes to get the timing right on this. If it doesn't work, just restart. Once you're in the start screen, you won't be able to press any button except for A. Mash the A button and save the game. Reset your game. When your game loads back in, the dialogue with the trainer will start again, but you will be frozen on the spot you saved. Keep pressing the right button until your character is able to move, then you should be able to walk as normal. Congratulations, you've now successfully bypassed Brock's gym and can continue the game without obtaining his badge. Important to note, if you walk back to where the interaction starts, you will be escorted back to the gym as per usual gameplay without any negative effects. Now that you have access to Route 3, proceed and battle all the trainers for the prize money. On this route, make sure you catch a Jigglypuff, as these are more difficult to encounter later on. Once you have caught Jigglypuff, you can head to Mount Moon. Stop by the Poke Center outside first to heal. You can catch Magikarp later on, so no need to buy from the shady guy for now. In Mount Moon, catch a Clefairy, as you won't be able to get one easily later on. You can also catch Geodude, Zubat, and Paras now, as they have better catch rates here, but this isn't necessary as they can be encountered later at a higher level. I chose to catch them here now, so I'll add it to my tally. Make your way through Mount Moon, making sure to grab the hidden items, including the hidden and not hidden moon stones. There are other items you can grab which I'll show clips for here. Battle the trainers in Mount Moon for the experience and prize money. Before you leave, grab a fossil. It doesn't matter which one you pick though, since we won't be able to use them during this run. Exit Mount Moon and head to Route 4. Make sure you grab the hidden Great Ball on the ground and the rest of the items. You won't be able to come back to grab them later in the game. You can use one of the 2 moon stones you picked up to evolve Jigglypuff to Wigglytuff. You can use the other one to evolve Clefairy into Clefable. We can sort the other moonstone evolutions out later. Also pick up a Sandshrew here. Sandshrew is the first of a few Pokemon Blue exclusives. This means Ekans and Arbok can't be caught for now. Once you are done, head into Cerulean City. Make sure you heal up at the Poke Center and restock Pokeballs now. Head up to the Nugget Bridge. Beat your rival and the rest of the trainers on Nugget Bridge. Go into the grassy area on Route 24. Catch an Abra here, just lob Pokeballs at them until you catch one. You can also catch a Bellsprout here, which will be helpful later on for putting Pokemon to sleep. Bellsprout is a Pokemon Blue exclusive, meaning on Red you can catch Oddish here. We will be catching Oddish later on, don't worry. Now to introduce the next helpful glitch, the Mew glitch. This is probably the most well-known glitch in Gen 1 and can be used to obtain Mew outside of the limited time distribution events that only a few people got to attend. To start the glitch, stand in the position as shown. You need to be one tile away from the trainer in the grass being able to notice you. Walk down one step so the trainer loads in, but hit start before the exclamation mark pops up. Use your newly caught Abra to teleport back to Cerulean City. Once you have teleported back, you'll know the glitch is active if you cannot access your start menu. Walk into Cerulean City Gym and battle the first trainer as shown. Once you have defeated that trainer, your start menu will be enabled again. Head back up to Nugget Bridge. Once you enter the route, your start menu will pop up. Press B. You will then be thrust into an encounter with a level 7 Mew. Catch the Mew. The way the Mew glitch works is complex and there are several videos that explain the mechanism online, so I won't rehash it here. The most relevant part of this glitch for us is that the special stat of the last Pokemon you encounter will determine the Pokemon you find. This correlates with the index number of coding for each Pokemon in the game. You can find the complete list for this on Bulbapedia and I'll link it in the description. The last Pokemon you face doesn't have to be the last Pokemon a trainer uses, it could also be a wild Pokemon, which we will use to our advantage during this run.
Using the Mew glitch, we can continue proceeding through Route 25. Using the same trainer in the grass on Route 24, the first hiker you beat will generate a Cubone. You can catch one later on, but I opted to catch one now. The other hiker you can beat here will generate a Nidoqueen, which can save you trying to find another Moonstone to evolve a Nidorina. The next trainer you beat is the last with the Nidoran, which will generate a Lapras. I caught this now, but you can obviously get one later on. The next trainer you beat is the hiker, who will spawn a Gengar. You normally can't obtain a Gengar without trading, so this is one of the many bonuses of completing a run like this. The next trainer is the cool trainer with the girlfriend, who will generate a Rhyhorn. You can catch these later on in the Safari Zone if you would like, but I opted to go for it now. The next mandatory trainer is Alas, who will generate the Pokemon Red exclusive Scyther, which you can conveniently catch now in Pokemon Blue. Head back to Cerulean City Gym and beat the second gym trainer, which will spawn a Staryu. I chose to catch this now, but you can definitely pick one up later on.
You might have noticed I skipped a few trainers on Route 25. That is because these trainers have Pokemon with the same special stat as the ones we have beaten already and would result in double-up encounters. Fortunately, we can change the Pokemon encountered by battling a wild Pokemon after the trainer battle. The first youngster you encounter on Route 25 would normally give you a Nidoqueen, but we have one already. Instead, beat the youngster and run around in the small patch of grass at the beginning of the route. The special stat of the wild Pokemon will determine your encounter. Using a wild Metapod with a special stat of 12, I was able to catch an Execute. You can pick one up later on if you don't get the same encounter. I then used one of the remaining trainers on Route 25 to encounter a level 12 Bellsprout with a special stat of 22. This resulted in a Gyarados encounter. I then used the last trainer on Route 25 to encounter a level 8 Caterpie, which resulted in an Executor. This brought my overall total to 35. Now finish up in this area. Make sure you grab the hidden items, including the rare candy, the ether and the elixir as shown. Head into Bill's cottage now and save him from a life of being a furry. He'll gift you the SS and ticket, which you can choose to do later on if you wish. Now make your way to the house that was blocked by Officer Jenny. In Gen 1, she steps aside after you get the SS and ticket, whereas in the remakes you need to be Misty to proceed. Go through the house and beat the Rocket Grunt. He'll give you the TM for dig, which could be useful later on if you choose to do the entire rock tunnel. Head down the next route into the underground pass and pick up the 2 hidden items as shown. You can head back into the grassy area here to catch a Meowth, which is a Pokemon Blue exclusive. Go back up to Route 24 to set up the Mew glitch. There are 3 trainers on Route 6 we can use for the Mew glitch to advance our Pokédex. The first trainer is a bug catcher with a Butterfree. Once you have defeated him, you can use Abra to teleport back to Cerulean City and walk up to Route 24 as per usual. With this method you can catch a Chansey, which will save a lot of time grinding to the Safari Zone later. The next trainer on Route 6 is a lass with 3 Pidgeys. This would normally generate a Rhyhorn, but we have caught one already. Instead, run around in the grass until you encounter a Bellsprout. The one I encountered had a special stat of 30, which resulted in an encounter with Tangela. We won't be able to go to Route 22 where you normally catch Tangela, so it's best to pick it up now. The last mandatory trainer on the route is the junior trainer with the Raticate, which will spawn a Shelter. You can catch this later on, but I opted to catch this now.
Go into Vermilion City. We will play the game as intended for a little while here. Grab the old rod from the fishing guy next to the Pokemon Center, and fish in Vermilion City to catch a Magikarp. We already caught Gyarados earlier, so no need to catch a higher level Magikarp. Next, head into Diglett's cave. You can catch both Diglett and Dugtrio here. You can head over to Route 11 now. Catch a Drowsy here as you can't find them anywhere else. You can also catch a Spearow here too. Trade with girl in the house next to the water to obtain a Farfetch'd. For some reason this is the only way to obtain this Pokemon in this game without glitches.
It's time now for a small catchathon. Use this trainer on Route 6 to start the Mew glitch and teleport to Vermilion City. Make your way to the dock and enter. There are several trainers on the SSN that can provide us the goods. Beat the gentleman on the ground floor of the SSN with the 2 Growlithes, then exit the ship. You can teleport back to the Pokemon Center to save a little bit of time and proceed north to Route 6. This will generate a Ghastly encounter. You can catch one later, but I chose to catch one now. If you head to basement floor, there are several Pokemon you can collect using the previous method. The sailor in the second room with the Horsia will spawn a Machoke. The sailor in the fourth room with the tentacle will generate a Growlithe. Growlithe is normally a Pokemon Red exclusive, so we'll definitely catch one here. Head back up to the first floor and proceed to the deck. The second sailor will generate a tentacle. Once again, you can catch one later, but it's easier to just pick one up now. Now head back inside. Battle the gentleman with the Ponyta Growlithe combination, who will subsequently spawn a Pinsir. Pinsir is a Pokemon Blue exclusive in the Safari Zone, and it is much easier to catch one now. You can pick any other trainer on the SSN to battle, but afterwards make your way to the captain's deck where you can fight your rival for cash money. In my playthrough, his level 20 Wartortle will generate an Onix that we can add to the tally.
Using the same trainer on Route 6, we can grab some extra Pokemon on Route 11. The engineer at the end of the route with the Magnemite and Magneton combination will generate a Magmar. Magmar is a Pokemon Blue exclusive, but we won't be able to access it naturally, so pick one up now. The Gambler at the end of the route with the Voltorb will generate a Mr. Mime. You can normally only obtain this by trading an Abra, but we can't access this trade because we don't have Cut, so catch one now.
I'm also going to take this opportunity to pick up a Grimer since we won't be able to get to Pokemon Mansion to catch one normally this run. Set up the Mew glitch like you normally would with the trainer on Route 6 and beat one of the spare trainers on SSN. Then go to Route 11 and encounter a level 13 Spearow, which has a chance of having a special stat of 13. If you've encountered the correct one, a Grimer will spawn. Catch the Grimer. Head into Route 11 and use the trainer shown for the Mew glitch. Once again, beat a spare trainer on the SSN, but this time head back into Route 6 and battle the trainer with the Squirtle that is normally not accessible with the Mew glitch. Once you beat him, head back to Route 11 and a Blastoise should spawn. Once again, you can get this later on, but to save time I chose to catch this now. We're now going to perform the skip Snorlax glitch. Start by heading through the gate between Route 11 and Route 12. Load the Snorlax into memory by interacting with it. Go back to Route 11 and find this trainer to start the Mew glitch. Teleport back to Vermilion City and proceed into Route 6 and beat the last remaining trainer that we have been using for the Mew glitch. After you beat him, head back to Route 11. A Grimer will spawn. If you didn't pick one up earlier, you can catch this one now. Make your way through Route 11 to the gate. When you head back through the gate into Route 12, the Snorlax will be gone, and so you can proceed onwards without having to obtain the Poke Flute for now. Now to continue the catching. Use the same trainer from Route 11 to initiate the Mew glitch. There are 4 fishermen in the northern area of Route 12. The first fisherman will spawn a Slowpoke for us, so I chose to pick this up now. The next 2 fishermen are optional and can be skipped as they don't generate anything useful at this stage. The last fisherman on this route cannot be skipped. If you do the Mew glitch normally, this would result in a Tangela encounter, which we already have. Instead, beat him and proceed upwards into Lavender Town. Head into the Pokemon Tower and defeat your rival in battle. Again, if we went back to Route 11 now, this would spawn a Machoke, which we already have. Instead, go up a floor. And face the Channeler with the level 23 Ghastly. Once you have defeated her, pop a Repel and exit Pokemon Tower and teleport back to Vermilion. When you enter Route 11, you will encounter a Magneton. You won't be able to find this normally, so it's worthwhile catching it now. Heal up at the Poke Center in Lavender Town. Make your way north to the Rock Tunnel and catch a Machop. Use the fisherman shown from Route 12 to initiate the Mew glitch, which should now teleport you to Lavender Town. If you head to Route 10 again just before the Rock Tunnel entrance, there are 4 trainers. The only one of note is the hiker tucked away in the northwest corner. Defeating him will generate an Arcanine, which is another Pokemon Red exclusive. Pick this up now.
Head to Route 8 west of Lavender Town. Most of the trainers here won't generate new Pokemon for the Pokedex on their own, but we can modify the process with the ghosts in Pokemon Tower. Start by defeating one of the trainers in battle. Head into the first floor of the Pokemon Tower. Encounter a ghost Pokemon, which is really a Ghastly, Haunter or Cubone in disguise. The Cubone ghost sprite is gray and the Ghastly Haunter sprite is purple, so you can identify which is which and determine what its special stat is. After a few attempts, I managed to encounter a level 18 Ghastly with a special stat of 44, which generated a Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan is one of many choice Pokemon in this game, so it is good to pick it up now. Using this method, I used a wild encounter with a level 22 ghost with a special stat of 53 to encounter an Electabuzz. Electabuzz is usually a Pokemon Red exclusive, so it is good to catch it now since you shouldn't be able to find it later on anyway.
Using this method, we can encounter a level 19 Ghastly ghost with a special stat of 46 to generate a Parasect. You can evolve one later, but it was convenient to pick up now. We can also use a level 19 Ghastly ghost with a special of 47 to grab a Psyduck. A level 20 Ghastly with a special stat of 45 generated an Arbok. This once again is usually a Pokemon Red exclusive, so it is good to catch one here. Similarly, a level 24 Ghastly ghost with a special stat of 57 can generate Mankey, another Pokemon Red exclusive that you can't normally catch. Finally, a level 21 Ghastly ghost with a special stat of 49 will generate a Golem. You can't normally get Golem without trading, so this is an alternate/safe way of obtaining one in a single game.
Let's take a break from Mew glitches for now. Make your way through Route 8. You can skip the rest of the trainers on this route for further shenanigans later on. Get through the underground path and you'll arrive at Route 7. You can catch a Vulpix here, which is a Pokemon Blue exclusive. There's a couple of things to do in Celadon City. Head to the back of the apartment tower and claim the EV that's just sitting on the desk. Next, make your way to the rooftop of the Celadon department store and grab a freshwater. Head back to the city gate and give this to the guards, who will now grant you access to Saffron City. Grab the coin case from the broke guy in the diner.
Head into the game corner. We'll sort out the game corner Pokemon later once we have some funds. For now, you can clear through the rocket hideout like you normally would in a vanilla playthrough. There aren't many notable Pokemon you can Mew glitch here apart from Hitmonchan and Kadabra, which can be caught elsewhere. Make sure you pick up all the available items as it's a nuisance to come back for these. Beat Giovanni and grab the Sylph Scope.
Now that we have the Sylph Scope, we can access the upper floor of Pokemon Tower. Head back to Lavender Town and set up the Mew glitch with any of the previously shown trainers. Once you have teleported back to the Pokemon Center in Lavender Town, enter Pokemon Tower and start making your way upwards. Battle only the necessary channelers as we'll be using them later on. Defeat the dead Marowak mother guarding the stairs and head up into the 7th level. Beat the first 2 Rocket Grunts, but after you have beaten the second one, use an escape rope to exit Pokemon Tower and activate the Mew glitch. This should generate a coughing. We won't be able to access Pokemon Mansion later on, so it's good to catch one now. Make sure you're stocked up on escape ropes, repels and great balls and have a level 27 Pokemon in your party. Rinse and repeat the last few steps to set up the Mew glitch and battle a spare channeler in Pokemon Tower. Make your way back up to the 7th floor of Pokemon Tower. On this floor, level 28 to 30 Haunter spawn, all of which have high special stats that generate Pokemon we need. You can isolate to just Haunter spawns by putting a level 27 Pokemon at the front of your party and using Repel. On my first attempt of this, I encountered a level 28 Haunter with a special stat of 73. Run away from the encounter and use an escape rope to exit Pokemon Tower. Walk down to where you initiated the Mew glitch. A Moltres should spawn. We won't be able to access this without HMs, so it is easier to catch one now. Just keep throwing great balls at it until it stays in.
We can repeat this same process to catch other Pokemon with similar index numbers. After a few attempts, I managed to also catch Zapdos, Jinx, and Ditto. I spent an hour trying to get Articuno without any luck, so we'll catch it later on. When you are done, head south again on Route 12 to where the Snorlax was. There are only 3 mandatory battles between here and Fuchsia City, so feel free to complete these at your own leisure. In the house just next to the first trainer is the fishing guru's brother, who will give you a super rod. You can use this immediately outside the house to catch a Krabby and a Goldeen. Continue to make your way south. You can avoid trainers and save them for later if you would like. The 2 trainers on the corner of the route will need to be battled as you can't get past without battling them. In the small maze in the next section, you can actually avoid any trainer battles at all, which is fun. Continue to make your way south on the route to Route 14. If you follow the steps in the video, you can also continue to avoid the trainers, which we can use later to catch some more Pokemon for the Dex. Head into Fuchsia City and heal. Let's start by going to the fishing guru's brother's house just to the east of the Pokemon Center to pick up the good rod. You can use this in his backyard to catch a Poliwag. Switch over to the super rod to fish up a Sea King, which will save you time later on. You can head down south from the Pokemon Center and slip in between the 2 swimmers on the beach to get access to the shoreline. Here you can use the super rod to fish up a Horsia.
Next, head to Route 18 to the west of Fuchsia City with a small patch of grass. Here you can catch a Doduo, a Fiero, and a Raticate. Next, head into the Safari Zone. We'll unfortunately need to pick up a few Pokemon here, including Dratini, Kangaskhan, Tauros. I also caught a Venomoth to save some time later on. After you finish up in the Safari Zone, head back to Route 15 and pick up a Venonat.
We'll use this trainer on Route 14 to catch a couple of Pokemon. Start the Mew glitch as per usual and teleport back to Fuchsia City. Head back through the gate towards Route 15 and cross all the way over into Route 13 whilst avoiding all the trainers. Battle this bird trainer with the 5 birds and defeat him. Battle the biker next to him that normally would not be able to participate in the Mew glitch. When you head back to Route 14, a Hitmonlee should appear. Catch it.
We're now going to add a variation to the Mew glitch and use Wild Ditto to obtain the specific Pokemon we want. Remember the level 2 Rattata we caught at the beginning? Take it out of the PC. Use the same trainer from before and teleport back to Fuchsia City. Beat any of the spare trainers around and head back through the gate to Route 15. Run around in the grass until you encounter a Ditto. Switch over to the level 2 Rattata and make sure the Ditto transforms into it. Run away. This ensures the special stat of the last Pokemon seen is 6, which is the index number of Voltorb. When you re-enter Route 14, you should encounter Voltorb. If you wanted trek through Rock Tunnel to the other side to catch one normally you can, but this way seems much easier. These are the last few Pokemon we need to catch before we start evolving Pokemon. You can see their index numbers are quite varied from low to high, however nothing in the PC has a special stat that matches. To get Pokemon with these special stats, we will need to grind out some evolutions first. You can either grind this manually on wild Pokemon, which will take ages, or we can adapt the Mew glitch to do item duplication. Here's how. First, we'll need to evolve Abra to Kadabra at level 16. It should learn Confusion and be able to battle. Head to Lavender Town. Deposit all your other Pokemon in the PC and empty out your cache reserves. Make sure the item you want to duplicate is in the 6th slot of your bag. Go to the Fisherman on Route 12 we have been using for the Mew glitch. Initiate the Mew glitch and teleport back to Lavender Town. Walk to Route 11 through Route 12. You'll notice trainer battles don't occur even if you are within range. Battle the Gambler on Route 11 in this specific location. Beat the Growlithe, but when the Vulpix comes out, intentionally lose to it by spamming teleport. You'll black out and land back at Lavender Town. Walk down towards Route 12 and finish the Mew glitch. A missing No should spawn. Run away from the battle. Go to your inventory. You should see a weird symbol on the number of your 6th item. The total number of that item now exceeds 99 and cannot be displayed properly. Since we now have a large supply of rare candies, we'll start mass evolving some Pokemon, including Charmeleon to Charizard, Pidgey to Pidgeotto, Pidgeotto to Pidgeot, Sandshrew to Sandslash, Nidoran to Nidorina, Nidoran to Nidorino, Zubat to Golbat, Meowth to Persian, Psyduck to Golduck, Mankey to Primeape, Poliwag to Poliwhirl, Bellsprout to Weepinbell, Tentacle to Tentacruel, Geodude to Graveler, Slowpoke to Slowbro, Doduo to Dodrio, Grimer to Muck, Ghastly to Haunter, Drowsy to Hypno, Krabby to Kingler, Voltorb to Electrode, Cubone to Marowak, Coughing to Weezing, Rhyhorn to Rhydon, Horsea to Seadra, Dratini to Dragonair, and Dragonair to Dragonite, bringing us to a total of 115. Use the same item duplication glitch on a nugget to get money by selling the extras to the shop. Now head back to Celadon City and enter the department store. Here you can stock up on evolution stones. Make sure you grab at least 4 water stones, 2 fire stones, 2 thunder stones and 2 leaf stones. We'll do the stone evolutions next, which include Pikachu to Raichu, Nidorino to Nidoking, Vulpix to Ninetales, Poliwhirl to Poliwrath, Weepinbell to Victreebel, Shellder to Cloysta, Staryu to Starmie, Eevee to Vaporeon. This brings our total up to 123. Rather than waste away our newly acquired funds, you can head to the game corner and start buying coins. Once you get to 6,500, you can head to the prize counter next door to buy a Porygon, saving us some time trying to set up another Mew glitch. Head back to Fuchsia City. At the gate exit to Route 18, you can trade a Slowbro for a Lickitung, which is the only location you can get one without the Mew glitch. Now we're going to set up to catch everything else we need with the Mew glitch and Wild Ditto. Make sure you have a Pokemon with the special stat corresponding to the index number of the remaining Pokemon as shown. Go back to the same trainer on Route 14 to start the Mew glitch. Beat a spare trainer and head back to Route 15. Encounter a Ditto and have it transform to the Pokemon with the special stat you require. Run away. Enter Route 14 and the Pokemon required should spawn. You can get the special stat you need by leveling up Pokemon or feeding them calciums. In the example shown, I used my Victreebel with a special stat of 58 to generate a seal encounter. We can use the same technique to spawn in and catch the remaining Pokemon including Articuno, Kabuto, Omanite, 2 EVs, Ekans, Machamp, Mewtwo, Snorlax, Alakazam,
Bulbasaur, Ponyta, Aerodactyl, Magnemite, Squirtle, and Oddish. This brings the total up to 139. Use whatever means necessary to level up and evolve the following. Bulbasaur to Ivysaur, Ivysaur to Venusaur, Squirtle to Wartortle, Oddish to Gloom, Gloom to Vileplume with a Leaf Stone, Ponyta to Rapidash, Seal to Dugong, Kabuto to Kabutops, Omanite to Omastar, Eevee to Jolteon with a Thunderstone, and Eevee to Flareon with a Firestone. And with that, the Pokédex count should be sitting at 151.
Head to Celadon City and enter the apartments. On the third floor, you can speak to the game director, who will issue you a diploma of Pokémon for completing the Pokédex. That's it. You've completed the Pokédex and caught them all with 0 gym badges. A true Professor Oak challenge completed in Pokémon Blue. Now if you beat Misty to be able to use the HM cut, you can go back to Professor Oak's lab in Pallet Town. He'll reward you with absolutely nothing for completing his life's work. What a scam. Unfortunately for us, beyond the diploma, a worthwhile Pokédex completion reward wasn't added to the games until Gen 3, where you were rewarded with a Johto starter for your efforts in Pokémon Emerald. From Gen 5 onwards, a shiny charm was awarded for your dedication to the cause, and internet trading made completing the Pokédex much more accessible. A few notes about this run. This was a proof of concept run. I wasn't sure whether or not this could be done, and I hadn't seen anyone else attempt this, so I thought it would be fun to try. I made several mistakes through this, and with a bit more planning this could be done faster and with more optimized paths. I accidentally erased Mr. Fuji from existence, which means progression through the game will be impossible as I can't get rid of the Rocket Grunt in front of Sabrina's gym or Sylph Company. This is 100% avoidable if you focus on the storyline rather than Mew glitching at every possible opportunity like I did. This is also the reason why I had to Mew glitch a Snorlax rather than catch the one west of Celadon City because I didn't have access to the Pokeflute. I believe it is still 100% possible to complete the Pokédex this way, and then go back and play the game normally to become the champion.
So, was it all worth it in the end? Probably not. I'd say play the game normally, but know that catching them all is possible without the need to trade with another game. Playing the game this way with no HMs and limited access to areas was very difficult and took a long time to problem solve. If you want to see something like this done on Pokémon Yellow or a guide on completing this more efficiently in Pokémon Red and Blue, leave a comment below. In fact, if this video gets 25 likes somehow I may just look into doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.